Hi, I'm Catalina. For 43 years, I've prided myself on being direct but never cruel. My daughter Mia used to be the same way, until she married Robert and moved in with his mother Eleanor during their house renovation. That's when everything changed. Mom, can you pass the salt? Mia asked, barely looking up from her plate at our monthly family dinner. I slid the salt shaker across the table. How's the renovation coming along? Still on schedule for next month? Eleanor's contractor friend says it'll probably be another 3 months, Robert chimed in, but she's been amazing helping us navigate all this. She's redesigned the entire kitchen herself, Mia added, her voice lifting with admiration. The woman has talents I never knew existed. I nodded, trying to ignore the familiar knot forming in my stomach. That's nice. I remember when your dad and I renovated our first home. Yeah, but Eleanor actually knows what she's doing, Mia interrupted with a laugh that felt like a slap. She ran her own interior design business for 20 years. I didn't realize, I said, forcing a smile. Robert grinned proudly. Mom's been teaching Mia all her entertaining tricks too. You should have seen the dinner party they threw last weekend. Oh? I didn't know you had a dinner party. Mia waved her hand dismissively. It was just something small. Eleanor showed me how to make her famous coq au vin. Everyone was obsessed. That sounds lovely, I said, though my chest tightened. Mia knew cooking together had always been our thing. You should have seen her, Mom. Eleanor was running that kitchen like a 5-star restaurant. I kept telling everyone I hope to be half the hostess she is someday. I nodded and took a sip of water to hide my expression. Speaking of entertaining, my brother James cut in. Catalina, remember that Thanksgiving when you managed to feed 20 people after the power went out? Ancient history, Mia laughed. Eleanor says formal dining is making a comeback. She's teaching me all these proper etiquette rules I never learned growing up. The table fell silent. What exactly does that mean? I asked quietly. Mia looked up, seemingly oblivious to the tension. Just that there's a whole world of proper entertaining I never knew about. Eleanor's showing me how real family traditions work. Real family traditions, I repeated slowly. Mom, don't be so sensitive. I just meant... No, please, continue. Mia sighed dramatically. You're making this into something it's not. Eleanor just has a certain way of doing things that works. I see. You know, Mia continued, her voice rising defensively, Eleanor says a real lady knows when to take constructive criticism. That's quite enough, James interrupted. But Mia wasn't finished. She looked straight at me, something cold in her eyes I'd never seen before. The truth is, Mom, you're not half the woman my mother-in-law is. The table went completely silent. I pushed my chair back and walked away. Catalina, wait! My friend Diane called after me. In the kitchen, I gripped the counter, fighting back tears. Diane burst in behind me. I can't believe she said that. What is wrong with that girl? I don't know what's happened to her, I whispered. This isn't the first time, Diane said, her voice low. Last week at Brooke's baby shower, she was going on about how Eleanor taught her the proper way to give gifts. I looked up sharply. What? She told everyone the Christmas sweater you made for the baby was sweet but homemade, while Eleanor's store-bought set was what quality looks like. The pain in my chest hardened into something else entirely. There's something wrong here, Kat. The Mia I know would never speak about you this way. You're right, I said, straightening my shoulders, and I'm going to find out exactly what's going on. She actually said you weren't half the woman Eleanor is? James paced across my living room the next morning. The same Eleanor who criticized your mother's funeral arrangements? That Eleanor? I nodded, staring into my untouched tea. I hardly recognized Mia. It's like she's become a completely different person. How long has this been going on? James asked, his speech pattern deliberate and measured as always. According to Diane, for months. Every gathering, every family event. Apparently Eleanor is perfect and I'm just inadequate. Something doesn't add up. Mia adored you her entire life. People don't just flip like that without reason. My phone buzzed with a text from Robert. Sorry about last night. Mia's just stressed about the house. Eleanor says to give her space. I showed James the message. Eleanor says? James raised an eyebrow. Since when does that woman dictate your relationship with your daughter? The doorbell rang. It was Lisa, Robert's sister. I heard about last night, she said. Thought you might need reinforcements. How did you— Robert called me, actually. He sounded worried. Lisa, you've spent time with them at Eleanor's house. What's your take on all this? Lisa twisted her wedding ring nervously. It's strange over there. Eleanor's constantly whispering things to Mia. I've overheard her saying stuff like, your mother never taught you that, did she? She's been deliberately turning Mia against me? It's more calculated than that, Lisa continued. She controls everything. What they eat, when they sleep, who visits. She even convinced them to give her access to their bank accounts to help manage renovation costs. That's not normal, I said slowly. There's more? Lisa leaned forward. Last week, I stopped by unexpectedly. Eleanor was going through Mia's personal mail. When I asked what she was doing, she said she was protecting Mia from stress. Then I noticed several unopened cards from you on her desk. She's intercepting my mail to Mia? I think she's isolating her cat. Classic manipulation tactics. We need to talk to Robert directly without Eleanor's interference, James said. He won't, Lisa shook her head. He worships his mother, always has. Then we need more information, I said, determination hardening my resolve. If Eleanor's manipulating my daughter, I need proof. I might be able to help with that, said a new voice. We turned to see Michael, Robert's father, standing in my doorway. Sorry to interrupt. Your door was open. Michael, I haven't seen you since the divorce, he finished, his weathered face grim. 20 years of marriage to Eleanor taught me a few things about her methods. What do you know? James asked directly. Eleanor doesn't just manipulate, she destroys. She convinced our son that I abandoned them, when in reality, she drove me out after cleaning out our accounts. Are you saying she's doing something similar to Mia and Robert? I asked. I checked with my banking contacts, Michael said. Large sums are being transferred from their renovation account to Eleanor's personal offshore account. She's stealing from them while turning your daughter against you. It's what she does, Michael explained. I have the documentation. Bank transfers, intercepted mail, text messages she's sent Mia about you. It's all here. He placed a thick folder on the table. Then we have what we need for a confrontation. Not just a confrontation, James said. We're going to need a proper legal strategy. I don't want to hurt Mia, I said quietly. Lisa touched my arm gently. The person hurting Mia is Eleanor. You're going to save her. The following afternoon, I stood on Eleanor's porch, folder in hand, James and Michael flanking me. Eleanor opened the door, her perfectly coiffed silver hair framing a face frozen in pleasantness. Catalina, what an unexpected surprise. Mia's not here, right? I'm not here to see Mia. I'm here to see you, I interrupted. Well, this isn't a convenient time. Perhaps if you'd called first. This isn't a social call, James cut in. We need to discuss some financial discrepancies. Eleanor's eyes flicked to Michael, then back to me. Something calculating crossed her features before she stepped aside. 20 minutes. That's all I can spare. What's this about? She asked, her voice honey-sweet but eyes cold. I opened the folder. You've been systematically turning my daughter against me while embezzling from her renovation fund. Eleanor laughed, a brittle sound. That's absurd. Mia simply recognizes quality when she sees it. As for money matters, I've been helping them manage their finances. By transferring $127,000 to your personal account in the Caymans? Michael asked pointedly. Her smile vanished. You have no right to investigate my personal affairs. We have bank records, Eleanor, James said flatly, and evidence you've been intercepting Catalina's communications with Mia. You've been poisoning my daughter against me, I said, telling her I'm inadequate, hiding my letters and gifts. I've merely been showing Mia a better way of living. Your provincial attitudes were holding her back. Is theft part of that better way of living? I asked. Is manipulating her into hating her own mother some sophisticated skill I failed to teach her? You don't understand what quality means, Eleanor hissed, mask slipping. What refinement looks like. Mia deserves better than potluck dinners and homemade Christmas sweaters. The front door opened and Mia walked in. Mom, what are you doing here? Eleanor immediately composed her face. Your mother is making wild accusations, darling. She's clearly jealous of our relationship. What accusations? I handed her the folder. Eleanor has been stealing from your renovation fund. Over $100,000, transferred to her personal offshore account. That's ridiculous, Mia scoffed, but took the folder anyway. Eleanor has been handling our finances as a favor. Read the documents, Mia. As she flipped through pages, her expression changed from dismissal to confusion to horror. These are our account numbers. These transfers. I never authorized these. She's been manipulating you, I said softly, intercepting my letters, turning you against me. Eleanor stood, suddenly imperious. This is slander. I'll sue you for defamation. Please do, James replied coolly. Discovery would be fascinating. Mia held up several unopened envelopes. These are birthday cards from Mom. You told me she never sent anything. I was protecting you from her negative influence, Eleanor snapped. By stealing my money? Mia's voice cracked. It was compensation for everything I've done for you. Living in my home, teaching you how to be something better than what your mother raised? Get out of my house, Eleanor finally spat. All of you, before I call the police. That would be unwise, Michael said quietly. Given the evidence we have. You think anyone will believe you? Eleanor laughed bitterly. I have connections you can't imagine. Mia stepped back, looking at Eleanor with new eyes. You've been lying to me all this time? I've been improving you, Eleanor hissed. Making you worthy of my son. By stealing from us? By making me believe my own mother didn't care about me? Eleanor turned on Mia with sudden venom. Your mother is common, ordinary. I was elevating you. By embezzling from her? I stepped forward protectively. Call it whatever you want, Eleanor sneered. You'll regret coming here. I promise you that. She reached for her phone, but Mia grabbed it first. No, Mia said firmly. You don't get to threaten my mother. Eleanor's face contorted with rage. After everything I've done for you? This is how you repay me? You ungrateful little… She lunged forward suddenly, shoving Mia hard against the wall. That's assault, James said quietly, already recording on his phone. Now we have something else to add to the charges. 2 weeks later, I sat in the district attorney's office with Mia, Robert, James, and Michael as ADA Warner outlined the case. Financial fraud, embezzlement, mail tampering, and assault, Warner said. With the evidence you've provided, we have a solid case. She's claiming it was all a misunderstanding, Robert said. That she was investing the money for us. In her private account? Warner raised an eyebrow. That defense won't hold up. What happens now? I asked. She'll be arraigned tomorrow. Given her resources and the flight risk, we'll request no bail. Mia stared at her hands. I can't believe I couldn't see what she was doing. That's how manipulation works, Warner explained. She isolated you, controlled your information, and gradually rewrote your reality. Outside the office, Mia turned to me, eyes brimming with tears. Mom, I'm so sorry for what I said. I was completely under her influence and… I held up my hand, stopping her. I understand how manipulation works, Mia, but understanding doesn't erase the pain. Please, she pleaded. I need you to forgive me. I looked at my daughter, the child I'd raised, who had publicly humiliated me and rejected our relationship. I can't do that right now. But we're family, she whispered. Yes, we are, I agreed. And as family, I'll support you through the legal process. I'll help you recover your stolen money, but trust is earned, not given. What are you saying? I'm saying I need time. What happened between us wasn't a simple misunderstanding. You chose to believe terrible things about me. I was manipulated! Yes, you were. But even before Eleanor's influence, you were willing to compare us, To find me lacking. That didn't come from nowhere, Mia. Catalina, please. Robert stepped forward. This isn't about forgiveness, I said firmly. It's about consequences and rebuilding. Both take time. 3 months later, I sat with James and Diane on my back porch. Eleanor had accepted a plea deal. 5 years for financial crimes plus restitution. Mia called again, James noted. That's the 3rd time this week. I know, I said. We're meeting for coffee tomorrow. Are you ready for that? Diane asked. I'm ready to start the process. Not to go back to how things were, but to build something new, with boundaries. That's growth talking, James nodded. It's self-respect, I corrected. Something Eleanor nearly took from both of us. Do you think you'll ever fully reconcile? Diane asked. I looked out over my garden, where spring flowers were beginning to push through the soil. Reconciliation isn't my goal. Building a healthier relationship is. One where my worth isn't measured against someone else's standard. And if Mia can't accept that? James asked quietly. Then we'll remain at a distance, I said with newfound certainty. I've learned something important from all this. What's that? That I am exactly half the woman I need to be. I smiled slightly. And twice the woman Eleanor will ever be. James raised his glass. To boundaries and new beginnings. And to the weight of words, I added, thinking of that fateful dinner. May we all choose them more carefully. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have confronted Eleanor directly or taken a different approach? Let me know in the comments below.